The Department of Homeland Security is blocking the import of Chinese products made in China's concentration camps. It's about time. The camps make products like hair products, apparel, cotton, computer parts, and lots of other things as well. And so we have decided to do something about it. Let's find out what. Ken Cuccinelli, Acting Deputy Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, joining us tonight. Ken, great to have you with us. This is a peculiar situation. You're trying to stop this stuff made by Uyghurs, primarily in concentration camps. And meanwhile, we are buying nearly everything that China can manufacture across the board. It's the same Communist Chinese Party responsible for all of it. How do you expect us to make discrete judgments about what is appropriate, what is not, when it's the same lying bunch of murderers who decided that they wouldn't tell the world that the China virus would kill them, and an unsuspecting world found out just how many could be infected and killed in the wanton disregard by Xi Jinping.
So, Lou, the authority that we have to exercise requires us to have a reasonable suspicion on a company-by-company basis or entity-by-entity. So a factory, today, one of the entities we sanctioned is, they refer to it euphemistically as a re-education, a vocational school. In fact, it's a concentration camp. And they provide labor to two other entities that CBP, Customs Border Protection, has also sanctioned. So we are hitting the Communist Party directly with their vocational school. We've hit some of these companies with direct sanctions, and it stops them from importing their products into the United States. And this year, CBP has seized tons, literally in weight, tons of these products, and blocked them from entry into the United States. The Customs Border Protection under Mark Morgan has issued more withhold release orders, the technical name for these seizure orders, than in any other year in its history, directed at China more than any other country. And today we added 5 more to the list.
Let's turn to the Chamber of Commerce. They're very upset about not being able to do as they would, which is compete directly against American workers. They're very upset with your administration and this president because you just won't let him. They just won't. This president just won't permit the Chamber of Commerce to replace our workers, our middle class, with cheap foreign labor.
Well, Lou, this president has been a vociferous advocate for American workers, the American worker. And right now, we're several months into the president's exclusion of temporary foreign workers from the United States because of the explosion in unemployment we suffered as a result of COVID-19. And that is slated to go until the end of the year. And even then, the president has broadcast notice that he may extend it beyond that so that Americans can get back to work faster. And whether some other people like the Chamber of Commerce would like to get their hands on some cheap labor or not, the president's priority is getting American citizens back to work. And that's what's happening at a record pace. We still have a long way to go, but this president has prioritized American workers first in the recovery.
And good for him, and extended he should. And by the way, we should point out that the Chamber is so upset with President Trump and his policies that they're going to actually be supporting a number of radical Dem candidates on November 3rd. That's beautiful, isn't it? Ken Cuccinelli, always good to see you. Thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.